Hi, and welcome to another edition of Steel Tip Tuesday. Today, I want to talk to you about having a disaster plan. Now, if you live in Florida, you know we're entering hurricane season or have entered hurricane season. And so a disaster plan is something that we hear a lot on television. But this issue is not relegated just to Florida. Whether you are dealing with flooding or wildfires or extreme heat or COVID, a natural pandemic, whatever it is, we want to make sure that we are prepared for the worst, for a pandemic, for a flood, for a hurricane, in a way that helps our business to continue to be successful, because we understand that downtime costs money and it also can close down a business. So the first tip I have for you is to put that plan in writing. It's the way that you communicate to your staff, to your vendors, to your customers, to anyone who is connected to your business, exactly what the expectations are, both from you and of them, when it comes to being prepared for a disaster. It says who opens, who closes, who's responsible for reporting, how do they get paid if they're a vendor, how quickly we can get items out to them. We communicate when we're opening and when we're closing. We communicate what we need as far as supplies during that disaster. Is a generator needed? Are walkie-talkies needed? What are the things that you want to make sure that you have secured in order for when the disaster hit, that you're not running around trying to make all those things happening? So the first thing is to have it in writing, to have a disaster plan. The second part is to back up your information on your computer. Now, if you are fortunate enough to have an IT company, this is something that they should be doing on a regular basis for you. But if you're a small business and you can't quite afford an IT company, then having an outside backup for your technology, for your information, for your CRM, for whatever it is that helps your business to run successfully, backing that up on an outside drive is critical. And that's not something you can do on the day before the storm or the day of the disaster. You need to be doing that as a small business on a regular basis. And then the third thing that's very important, that's critical, is having a financial plan. I was in Louisiana, as I've mentioned before, during Hurricane Katrina, and I remember small businesses struggling to make payroll because they were in banking with small local or regional banks, and they had been shut down, had been affected by the same storm that everyone else had been, those small businesses. And so it was difficult for them to make payroll. So having fiduciary bonds, checking to see what your insurance actually covers, because a lot of times as a small business, we buy the policy way back when, we get whatever's regulated for our industry, and we don't really look over time what our insurance policy actually covers. So you want to make sure that you know exactly financially, insurance, payroll, all the things that are connected to your finances, that you have a plan for how you're going to manage those in the case of a disaster. A wise person once said, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And we don't want that for your business. So take these tips and let's implement them now so that you can be prepared if there is another disaster. This is Katrina Hood with Steel Blue. Have an amazing week.